Hello YouTube, it's Mike from Florida Van Man here, and we've got an exciting new toy here from Canada we're checking out. This is the Nautabox. It is a little device that sits over here on your dashboard, and ideally you'd have it run down properly through. But since I'm still testing this and I want to test it in multiple vans, just got the cable going down into the OBD port. I got really excited about this reading about it on the forums because it was essentially what I wanted to build. It is an auxiliary instrument panel specifically made for the T1N Sprinter by a forum member. It's Arduino based, which is awesome because that kind of means it's open in one way or another. Not he intends we get to it, we shall see. What's really cool about this device so far is that, first of all, there's no battery. I can flip the switch all day long and it is never going to turn on unless you put the key on. It's got a voltmeter. You've got your rail pressure here. It'll measure your fuel economy while you're moving. Boost pressure, LOD percent, that's pretty much how hard you're working the van. That's like its load. Speed, water, sump, torque in, probably fuel temperature, transmission temperature, oil temperature, etc. Sump level. You get a lot of stuff in it. And that's just this screen. So this is the so-called driving screen. So if I start my van here, you'll see it starts to update. We can see right now our load in the driveway is about 31%. Seems to be about normal. Sump is flashing right now because I'm parked really uneven. You can see our rail pressure updating. The sump is starting to change now. It also helps the vans warm up when you're reading the sump values. So if I go ahead and scroll over to the next screen, this is the screen that I really like to drive with on, honestly. And a lot of people aren't going to like driving with this on, and I understand. That's why the other screen exists. But this is what's called the detail screen. So it's this green and black terminal looking thing. It's pretty awesome. And it's basically every value you'd ever want to know about your van while it's moving. So you got your rail pressure, you've got some transmission parameters, you've of course got the LOD, MAF, turbo, EGR, all those in case you get a check engine light and you want to figure out, did my EGR stop reading? Is my MAF okay? What's the deal with my turbo pressure? Can I monitor that while driving? And instead of having to have a scanner hooked up and try and read it while you're driving, you can just have this sitting on your dashboard. You can see exactly what's going on. You can also see it reads your fuel gauge in gallons. And regarding the little 4 above the MPG, I drove around with this on for a bit, and it's basically the gallons consumed since it started reading. So when I started this morning to go to my job, I was at 23 gallons. And when I got home after driving around and going to a few places too, I'm at 19 gallons now. So that's where that 4 comes from. You see if I turn the key off, it turns off right away. You can also manually, of course, turn it off and then on again. So let's go back past the detail screen. This detail screen, I essentially call it the metric screen. It's essentially everything we were looking at before except Newton meters instead of pound feet, kilopascal instead of PSI, H2O, ATF, and oil temperatures are all in Celsius instead of Fahrenheit. Kilometers per hour, and thus fuel economy is different. Kilometers per liter, I guess. That's why I'm glad it's just eco here. The percentages are still the same, but your pressures are measured in kilopascal. And if we go to the next screen after that, you can see we've got some options here for speed calibration. So you can set a speed offset. It's at the default 1.04. I will have to set this up a few for my bigger tires. So I think I'm gonna have to set this probably. So I'm not gonna sit there and increase it by 0.005 every time. Sorry. So you can just turn off logging whenever you need to, and when you turn on logging, it'll start logging values every 30 seconds, I believe. So let me go to the next screen now. And the other cool thing that it's good for, if I had any right now, of course, is it's an engine fault code reader. You can read and clear codes. I wouldn't recommend doing that while you're moving, but it's really awesome to have a device in the van, like something that's meant to be installed in the van and always with you. You can see where I stuck my Velcro for it there. Pretty cool to have something that's capable of this. Let's see if I have any transmission fault codes. Nope, nothing. This van's pretty good, actually. So I wouldn't recommend it. Obviously, scanning codes isn't its primary purpose, and all it does is give you the p-value of it. But it does give you Sprinter codes. It just doesn't give you definitions. But it gives you codes, which is a great start, honestly. And this being Arduino based, that means it's probably pretty easy to work on and pretty easy for me, even if I wanted to modify some of the code. So I'll definitely look into this. Just going over the construction of the device. It's a nice plastic shell, plastic hard shell. The touchscreen is decent. It's pretty bright. It was visible while I was driving today, but it's pretty overcast. I'll have to get back to you with how bright that is during like Florida sun driving. This is not Florida sun weather, by the way, so I'm not sure what this sensor here is. It looks like it actually might be a light. But of course we've got the toggle switch for on and off. And coming around to the back, you've got the wire in. It looks like some air vents for the Arduino. And because it's Arduino, of course, it's just 4 Phillips screws if I wanted to break into this and hack it apart. If you'd like to see me tear this down and see if I can get into its guts and get into its code, be sure to leave a like on the video. SD card at the top, of course. And this wire is plenty long for you to run it through and put it somewhere comfortably. And of course, it's got a convenient left angle to make it easy to run up and into the dash. As you can see, it's a windy Florida night. This is actually my first time lighting it up at night, so let's see how bright it is. It's definitely brighter than the display here, but it's not so ridiculously bright. And I think that once you put, yeah, that gets brighter. So yeah, that's not intrusive at all. That actually looks really good there. I look forward to doing some night driving with this now. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're looking forward to more content related to sprinters, be sure to subscribe. And I'll have more content coming about the Nautabox as soon as I figure out more about it. So until next time, guys, peace out.